off here at Waldor Orchids with the great Koch from Gold Country Orchids. So excited to have you here in our office and be able to talk to you, ask you a few questions about your breeding lines. So we know that you're all, not all, you're known for miniatures, you're known for tetraploids, and you really should be known for Angraecoids. So why Angraecoids? Why do you choose Angraecoids as a passion?
Angraecoids are a little more difficult to get out of flask than, say, Cattleya's, Phalaenopsis are so easy, Cymbidiums are easy, and I like the challenge. It's so much fun to be able to share those different species, and what I love about them is most of them are ideal for the novice and the home grower that's growing in a windowsill or under lights or in the basement under lights.
It's sort of universal, right? Whether you're in California, New Jersey, Florida.
Exactly, it doesn't matter. In fact, I sold them as far north as Alaska, North Pole, Alaska. I've sold them to Chicoutimi, Canada, and Chicoutimi is about 500 kilometers north of Quebec.
Come on, they grow them outside.
Oh,
no,
they don't grow them outside.
So, I want to ask a different question first, I guess, is that most of these are coming from Africa, right?
Yeah.
And have you had any problems? So I'm going to ask you two questions. Where do they come from? And then also, have you had any issues as far as getting different product, new product, things into the pipeline? Have there been any problems with that?
There are problems, especially in the beginning when I started breeding these 40 years ago. And the problem is that all the inspections, and they would bare root the plants and leave them on the bench for days, and then it had to go through shipping, and we're going from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere and the adjustment there, and so some of them just took years to establish, and there's sterility barriers in many of the African species so that they can't self-pollinate, so you have to have at least two different plants to bring together.
Oh, that's fun. And no pseudobulbs, so...
Yeah, no storage for energy, yeah.
So when you started bringing these into the market, have you faced any challenges getting people interested? I mean, a lot of the flowers are so crazy, I guess. As long as you can just show them what they look like, people get pretty excited. So has it been a challenge? And then what do you think the biggest factors are as far as why people would want to have an Angraecoid?
Well, it was difficult in the beginning because originally in the United States there was only one real breeder back in the 60s and 70s, and that was the Angraecum House in Southern California.
Okay.
And so there was such a limited supply because that owner didn't travel east. And so I was bringing African species like to New York, New Jersey, and they hadn't seen them.
Yeah.
And so I found that if I brought blooming samples and plants that were in spike, hobbyists would try them, bring them in bloom into the club, and that developed a marketplace for me when they were flowering them.
Nice. So where do you think you're going to go in the next few years in breeding with Angraecoids?
I'm doing a lot of intergeneric primary hybrids, that's between two species,
good.
Because it improves the vigor and makes it a much easier plant for a hobbyist to grow.
Okay, so now one other question. This is the last question. You're on your fifth one. You're doing well, by the way.
I didn't know it was a test.
It's to culture. Obviously, most of these are coming from a particular climate. Some may have extremes one way or the other. Are there any specific tips, or even say general tips, we could say maybe that way, to growing Angraecoids?
Most of them grow in low to intermediate light. Most of them stay on the moist side. That means they go dryish between waterings.
Okay.
So, and one thing I really like to do is I like to explain to people when they buy one, because I tell them when there's an exception, like the one that wants to dry between watering.
Okay.
And one of the things is we pot most of them in clear pots because the entire family photosynthesizes from their root system.
Oh, that's really, so you really want the roots exposed then. Whatever you're potting them in, they're better off being the roots exposed. Okay, so basket or mounted is probably best, something like that?
It is, but really, come on, the novice is scared of a basket or a mount.
Yeah.
But like I tell them, they are best on a mount to expose them, like Angraecum dieteri, which has got these beautiful silvery blue and red-hued roots. And I say, buy a soda bottle, a liter soda bottle that's clear, cut off the top, and you've got a mini terrarium to hold the humidity.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I really appreciate you being here this weekend.
Yeah.
It's so great to be able to sit down with you. I love this guy. I've known him, well, since I can't remember. So my whole lifetime, maybe. But
I do remember seeing you when you were about that tall.
But Alan's a wealth of knowledge, not just in Angraecoids. I mean, he does all kinds of things. Miniature cattleyas are awesome, and so many other great species. Gold Country Orchids, check them out. I think everything's a tetraploid. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
No,
but there is a lot of great plants at Gold Country Orchids, and you do tons of orchid societies. You do lots of shows. They can find you online and your website, Gold Country Orchids. Do you do social media at all?
I don't really.
You don't, and that's cool.
I'm not a
social. Make sure.
I'm 73. Come on.
So the best way to find you is through your website. You do lots of shows, orchid society meetings all over the country. So most likely, no matter where you are in the country, you can travel within a few hours to see Alan go speak at your club or something like that.
Well, next month I'll be at Deep Cut in New Jersey. I'll be at North Jersey here.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm doing 4 talks in Delaware, 1 in Delaware, and 3 in New Jersey.
This is great. And that's all over the country, too. This man travels more than anybody else he knows. Probably more people than all of us put together. So the great Alan Koch, Gold Country Orchids. So good to see you, man.
Thank you,
Glad you're
brother.
here.